Today's show is sponsored by the Electric Vehicle Association. Join up to support the electrification of transport and get the help you need to finance your own EV or clean energy future. And by the 8th Annual Chicago Chesed Fund Tesla Raffle. Head to the link below and use the code TRANSPORTEVOLVED to get $25 off 2 tickets. The draw takes place in just 9 days, so make sure you get your tickets today. And by Fully Charge Live USA. Come down to San Diego on September 10th and 11th to take part in the live extravaganza of EV fun. Get 15% off your tickets for this year's show by following the link below and using TE22 at checkout. You have just 15 days to get your tickets, and the whole team hopes to see you there. Welcome back to TN or Transport Evolved News. Thanks for tuning in to episode 400. It is hard to believe that, with the odd weekend off here and there, we have been doing this particular show since 2013. In fact, this channel, Transport Evolved, is fast approaching its 13th birthday. I feel old, but also very grateful that so many of you are still here, still watching, and still supporting. Thank you. We start today's show with some fantastic news out of the US state of California, whose Air Resource Board has just passed a proposal banning the sale of all new fossil fuel-powered light-duty vehicles by 2035. While California is not the first US state to announce a plan to phase out ICE vehicles entirely, Washington state passed its own ICE vehicle ban with effect from 2030, California's car market represents more than 10% of all new cars sold annually, and so this new regulation will make a big impact on the cars the auto industry produces. It's worth noting too that right now a total of 17 states follow California's zero-emission vehicle mandate, thus expanding the likely places where this ban will take effect in 13 years' time. In the interim, the California Air Resource Board has increased the percentage of zero-emission vehicles automakers must now make between now and 2030. Just as Tesla CEO Elon Musk hinted Tesla would to continue to drive the price of full self-driving up, the automaker will soon add $3,000 to the price of FSD. Spec a new Tesla today and you'll be able to buy full self-driving for $12,000, but come September 5th that price will increase to $15,000. Of course, FSD isn't yet rolled out to customers' cars and hasn't yet passed necessary legal hurdles to get widespread deployment, so right now you won't get to use FSD unless you're someone who was granted access to Tesla's FSD Beta test program. Calling FSD quote-unquote ridiculously cheap last month, Musk has implied that the price hike won't be the last and stands by his promise that Tesla hopes to successfully take FSD out of beta this year. That said, Musk has been promising us FSD-like performance now for over a decade. Last week, Kia finally revealed the EV6 GT at the Monterey Car Week, and following a European debut of the same at the Goodwood Festival of Speed, it's got lots of us drooling. Built on the same eGMP platform as the Hyundai Ioniq 5, the Genesis GV60 and the regular Kia EV6, the GT variant is built not for range, but performance. It pairs up the stock eGMP's 77.4 kilowatt-hour battery pack with a 160 kilowatt front motor and 270 kilowatt rear. It has a special drift mode out of the box and does the stoplight sprint in 3.4 seconds on its way to an electronically limited top speed of 161 miles per hour, which is 260 kilometers per hour. Kia says it can out-accelerate a Ferrari Roma and a Lamborghini Huracan Evo Spider rear-wheel drive, and all we want to do here is take it for a spin. After being in the crosshairs of the Dawn project for months and following a particularly vicious TV ad campaign from the same, Tesla has officially got its legal department involved. This week, Tesla sent a cease and desist notice to Dan O'Dowd, the billionaire software mogul who has made it his personal mission to discredit and smear Tesla's FSD. O'Dowd's company, Green Hills Software, claims it builds systems that cannot fail or be hacked, and alleges, through an independent campaign organisation called the Dawn Project, that Tesla's full self-driving system is dangerous and should be banned. In the Dawn Project's most recent ad, aired nationwide, a Tesla is shown hitting a child mannequin on a closed test course, and there have been multiple concerns raised that the car was not operating in FSD when it was filmed. Ignoring requests for clarification, O'Dowd is now trying to discredit journalists who asked questions. Ford has officially opened the order books for its 2023 model year Ford Mustang Mach E, and as expected, there have been tweaks to pricing and specs. New for this year, all Ford Mustang Mach E models from the entry-level Select up will get all of the necessary hardware required for Ford's Blue Cruise to operate, with higher-end models getting Blue Cruise free for 3 years, and the entry-level Select variants getting a 90-day trial. Premium extended range models will also get an additional 13 miles, 21 kilometres of range per charge compared to last year's model. As with every other car on the market today, pricing has increased for 2023, with the entry-level Select rear-wheel drive standard range now starting at $46,895 before fees and incentives. New model year production starts soon. As proposed by Tesla and voted on at Tesla's most recent shareholder meeting, Tesla executed its latest 3-for-1 stock split this week. Taking place at the end of trading on Wednesday, Tesla issued new shares at a ratio of 3 new shares for every 1 share previously held in the company, diluting Tesla's share price to 1/3 of what it was at the close of trading. This not only increases the number of Tesla shares in circulation, but slashes the effective price of Tesla shares, making it easier for retail investors, private citizens who personally buy and sell securities and shares, to be able to buy stock. While stock splits aren't as popular today as they once were, it's a well-known fact that following a stock split, an in-demand share tends to go upwards as investors perceive the stock split as more affordable than the pre-split stock. It's official. Just 1 week after we published our rather scathing review of the Mazda MX-30 EV, the company has announced it's sold out of all US allocations of the same. Although I don't think we're to blame. Yes, that's right, the limited range, oh so expensive MX-30 has now reached a heady 505 vehicles sold, and right now, Mazda has declined to comment on if there will be any 2023 model year MX-30s sold. Given that the car doesn't qualify for US federal tax incentives under the just-signed Inflation Reduction Act, and sales are abysmal, we're expecting this to be all that Mazda is going to sell. And given that one of you reached out to let us know that an MX-30 with minimal accident damage was recently written off because Mazda couldn't get replacement parts to fix it, well, we can't say we're surprised. And if you haven't checked out our review yet, well, it's well worth a watch. It's official. Electric vehicles have the lowest annual fuel cost of all light-duty vehicles on sale today. That unsurprising verdict was announced by the US Department of Energy this week, which has been calculating the operating costs of all 2022 model year light-duty vehicles on sale in the US. It not only showed that across the board, from small cars through to large cars, SUVs, pickups and vans, that electric vehicles were by far the cheapest to fuel, but also quite deftly showed that all battery electric vehicles cost less than $1,000 to fuel per year, assuming an average 15,000 miles split between 45% highway and 55% city. The same wasn't true for plug-in hybrids though, which were sometimes more expensive than gasoline vehicles to fuel. Transitioning the world's school bus fleet to electric vehicles will not only get millions of polluting diesel buses off the road, but it'll help the electrical grid too. That's the verdict of Highland Electric Fleets, which has just published the details of the summer job that the Highland-provided electric bus fleet in Beverly, Massachusetts had over the summer. It supplemented the electrical grid. Thanks to a collaboration between Thomas Built Buses, Proterra, Rhombus and Signup, Highland Electric Fleets were able to feed back power to the electrical grid in Massachusetts during the summer vacation, when school buses are used far less frequently than they are during school time. Over 32 grid events during the vacation period took place, and the bus fleet provided more than 7 megawatt hours of power, enough to run 600 homes for a day, back to the grid. This reduced grid strain and the need of the local utility to spin up a peaker power plant. When you sign up to become a beta tester, there's an inherent understanding that you're going to be testing a product or software that may not quite be ready for prime time yet. Your duty as a beta tester is to provide feedback on bugs and user experience, but traditionally how you provide that feedback is through non-public channels. And for early beta testers of Tesla's FSD, that's how Tesla operated, requiring testers to moderate their public discussion of the system. But since Tesla's removed much of its NDAs on the system, we've seen more and more people talk publicly about the strengths and weaknesses of Tesla FSD Beta. Yet this week, when a Tesla FSD Beta tester spoke publicly about the latest iteration of FSD Beta, version 10.69, Elon Musk was quick to chide them, stating that they shouldn't be complaining about early beta releases. It's frankly an unexpected retort from Elon Musk. Short shorts are on the way, but first, how would you like to win a Tesla of your choice or $50,000 in cash? Well, make sure you pay attention because I'm about to tell you about the 8th annual Tesla raffle from the Chicago Chesed Fund. The Chicago Chesed Fund is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping families in crisis and has hundreds of programs and services in operation. And as we head into the recession, this Chicago-based charity is working hard to keep people safe, fed, employed, and healthy. We have been promoting the raffle for many years on this channel, and we're super excited to be taking part again. So to find out more about the program or to buy tickets, head to ccfraffle.com, where you can get 2 tickets for $175 by using the promo code TRANSPORTEVOLVED. There are a total of 9,999 tickets available, and the draw takes place in just 9 days' time, so you really should get your tickets now or risk missing out. And now it's time for Short Shorts. Just 1 week after it unveiled its all-electric Manx 2.0 electric, Meyers Motors is opening the order books for EO customers to make $500 deposits to stand in line to own one. It's also accepting applicants who want to help the company by becoming beta testers. Talking to a German publication this week, Porsche's production boss, Albrecht Reinmold, has confirmed that Porsche hopes it can make as many all-electric Macan EVs as it plans to produce internal combustion engine versions, or about 80,000 per year from next year. Volkswagen has confirmed that it will only sell electric cars in Norway from 2024 onwards, which on the face of it sounds like a very bold move. But then you realise that Norway is banning ICE car sales from 2025 onwards. Kia has been busy posting teaser images of its all-new electric model, the Kia EV9. It's sized to cross-shop against a whole slew of large SUVs around the world, and the EV9 will enter into production next year. It will offer 3-row seating, impressive range, and all-wheel drive. Royal Enfield, the iconic motorcycle company known for its timeless styling and iconic lines, has recently reinvented itself, doubling down on improving its build quality, and now it's readying itself to go electric too. Its first electric model will launch by 2026. Way too many automakers seem to think that electric cars need to look weird or quirky because they're electric. But talking this week, Alfa Romeo's design boss confirmed to Top Gear that Alfas won't lose their sense of style when they go all electric. We can't wait. Tesla's battery partner Panasonic is reportedly considering another large-scale factory for building electric car battery cells. Reporting from the Wall Street Journal suggests that Panasonic is moving forward with a $4 billion production facility in Kansas. The Indonesian city of Jakarta has signed an agreement with a UK-based conversion specialist to retrofit some 3,000 diesel buses to all-electric drivetrains. The first buses will hit the road in 3 months' time, with further converted buses to follow thereafter. Lucid is rumoured to be readying a new expansion to its Arizona production facility after Pinal County, where it's based, reportedly acquired land adjacent to its facility worth $113.5 million. If this expansion happens, it'll be big. IC Cars has shown that while used car prices rose across the board this year due to reduced supply of new cars into the marketplace, price rises were different between internal combustion and electric, with used EVs jumping 54% in July versus 10% rises for ICE. Harbour Air has completed its first point-to-point test flight of its all-electric converted de Havilland Beaver seaplane. The plane flew 45 miles in 24 minutes with ample reserve power for emergency use. It will enter into commercial service soon. Following on from its sphere-themed electric concept cars, Audi has teased the first images of its new concept, the Audi Active Sphere. We'll find out more about it in the future, but it looks to us like it's a high-performance sportback with off-road capabilities. Tritium has opened its first DC quick-charging production facility in North America. The Australian-based firm says the Tennessee-based production facility will add 500 new jobs to the region and enable it to produce 30,000 DC quick-charging stations per year. Mercedes-Benz has officially begun sales of the EQE in China. It's built exclusively for the Chinese market, but there are a few differences to the European spec variants, such as a little extra length and a larger Chinese-only 96.1 kilowatt-hour battery pack. Opel has unveiled a new variant of its Zafira E-Life electric minivan this week, called the Cross-Camp. As the name suggests, this variant is designed for camping with fully rotating front seats, kitchenette, wash basin, and seating and sleeping for four. It will enter into production next year. Canoo has published an official video of its first Walmart-badged delivery vehicle in operation. The Walmart-badged LDV will enter into production shortly, but this pre-production prototype will be used in Dallas to help deliver groceries to customers in the region. Rome has officially launched its first all-electric mass transit bus for use in Kenya. Called the Rome Rapid, the electric bus is equipped with a 384 kilowatt-hour battery pack and room for 90 passengers. It will be on the road shortly. Genesis has expanded its availability for the GV60 EV. Previously only available in 4 US states, California, Connecticut, New Jersey and New York, order books will soon also open in Arizona, Nevada, Utah and Washington state. These kind of rollouts are so frustrating. We've seen plenty of electric car conversion kits over the years, but we've never seen an electric motorcycle conversion kit before. But now LM Creations from the Netherlands will sell you one for the BMW R family of motorbikes made between 1969 and 1995. As continued power cuts threaten the stability of the electrical grid in parts of China, both Tesla and NIO have found themselves taking some of their charging stations offline. Both companies are asking customers to share home charging stations and apologise for the issues. Researchers at the Idaho National Laboratory have been using machine learning to dramatically reduce the charging times of electric vehicle battery packs without damaging cells or changing cell chemistry. They believe they have a path to slash charging times. In the aftermath of the signing of the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, which includes incentives for EVs based on where they were made, Hyundai has sent an envoy to Washington, D.C. tasked with changing the rules. It says the law likely violates World Trade Organization regulations. Ford has announced it will be firing some 3,000 people, 2,000 salaried and 1,000 contracted in the US, Canada and India. The change in staffing is part of a major restructuring that Ford says will allow it to focus on EVs while retaining profitability. A Swedish flying boat company, Candela and Polestar, have announced a formal partnership that will see Polestar supply battery packs to Candela for use in its electric hydrofoil boats. In addition, Polestar will supply Candela with its in-house power electronics. Toyota has officially given up its attempts to stop California from enforcing tougher emissions requirements than the rest of the US. It was previously trying to get California's authority challenged, but now says it recognizes the state's authority to set emissions laws. Mercedes-Benz has officially begun production of its high-end EQS SUV at a brand new production facility in Alabama. The car is due to begin deliveries later this year and offers an additional row of seating and much more headroom when compared to the EQS sedan. It's also a little shorter. BYD has confirmed its entry into the European market with the Tang SUV, Atto 3 crossover and Han sedan. The 3 cars will initially be built in China and shipped to Europe, but rumours this week suggest it's considering establishing a European production facility too. At last week's Monterey Car Week, Lucid Motors unveiled a new version of the Lucid Air, the Lucid Air Sapphire. It has 3 motors instead of 2, and the car produces over 1,200 horsepower, with a sub-2 second sprint time, sub-9 mile quarter-second time, and a whole lot more. Just as quickly as it backed down on its fight with the California Air Resource Board, Toyota has been caught on the record again, claiming that there's no demand for electric vehicles. Talking at a webinar this week, the VP of Sales at Toyota North America says the market isn't ready. Official figures from the US Energy Information Administration shows that during the first half of this year, renewable energy generation accounted for more than 1/4 of all electricity used by the nation. Generation outpaced predictions and set all-time records. And those are your shorts. There will be more next week. We'll get to our final two stories in a moment, but first, a teaser for the second episode of our F-150 towing expedition from Seattle to Denver. And if you haven't watched episode 1, it's up on the channel now. Editorial is overheating slightly, like the battery is overheating slightly. It's now restricted it to 56%. It's going to take us another 14 hours to get to our destination. The truck has 30 miles of range remaining. We are driving our Lightning into a thunderstorm. I don't know about you. It has been quite the day. When getting a new car, the majority of us seek to finance that purchase through some kind of lease or loan agreement. And for many of us, that means applying to a local bank or credit union and hoping that our credit scores are good enough that we'll get a good rate. In recent years, we've seen financial institutions offer discounted rates for going electric over ICE. But this week, the Bank of Australia went one step further, announcing that it will no longer fund personal loans for internal combustion engine vehicles from 2025 onwards. After that date, if you'd like to borrow some money to get a new car, the bank will only consider your application if you're buying a battery electric vehicle, which frankly is a great move on the bank's part and, I hope, encourages more people to dump the pump for good. Good on you, mate. And finally, we've talked at great length before about how electric bicycles can really help people transition away from fossil fuels. And based on the sales data, most people agree. Traditionally, electric bicycles are big and bulky, with in-wheel motors, poor geometry, and the kind of maneuverability that means you're best sticking to on-road riding. But this week, Onyx Motorcycles unveiled a new electric bicycle that it says will change the game. And we've got to admit, we think it will. Enter the LZR, an all-electric, super powerful dirt jumper that has all of its sensitive power electronics hidden in the down tube and its electric drivetrain hidden in the bottom bracket. It has a 0.5 kilowatt-hour battery pack, a choice of 5 or 900-watt motors, and the kind of geometry that makes it possible to ride on and off-road while pulling some pretty impressive stunts too. We cannot wait to get our hands on it. And on that note, we are done for the day. But before I go, a huge thank you to the Electric Vehicle Association for sponsoring today's show. They have been advocating for electric vehicles since 1967, and they firmly believe that our future depends on us making the switch to clean, green electric cars today. The EVA can help you find someone near to you that can help you make the switch to electric. It can help you become an EV educator, and it can point you in the direction of monthly meetups for like-minded EV fans. And if you become an EV member, you'll gain access to a new clean energy and EV loan program set up between the EVA and the Colorado Clean Energy Credit Union. So find out more by heading to electricauto.org. And of course, thanks again to the 8th Annual Chicago Chesed Fund Tesla Raffles for sponsoring today's show. Head to the link below and use the code TRANSPORTEVOLVED to get $25 off 2 tickets. And remember, the draw takes place on Labor Day. Don't forget to hit subscribe and the bell for this channel and our second channel, Transport Evolved Take 2. And if you're not already a channel member or Patreon supporter, please consider becoming one. Or you can send us a tip through Ko-fi or check out our cool swag store. And if you like what you saw today, why not consider adding a super thanks to your comment? It is easy to do and it all helps our channel grow. I'll be back this time next week for another roundup, but as always, we'll be making plenty of content for you to enjoy during the week. And if you like things off the beaten track, just hop over to Transport Evolved Take 2 tomorrow for our Sunday Musing, which is about California's new ICE vehicle ban, as well as our brand new chicken and garden update. Whatever you enjoy next, I hope your weekend is a great one, and as always, keep evolving.